Guys? In today's video, I will be doing a full due diligence on ONDS. This will include fundamental and technical analysis. So first, let's start off with the technical analysis. So okay, as you can see here, ONDS has been on quite a tear lately. Recently, when I started buying was around here. As you can see, this is a pretty well established trend line. Tap, 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 tap. And then this here too. And ONDS recently broke above it on the 31st. And the stock seems to be having increased volume, which you like to see. And they're above all of the EMAs and SMAs. Personally, in my opinion, I think ONDS is due for a little bit of a cool off. As you can see, it's up about 50%, which is actually kind of insane. So yeah, I think ONDS might just cool off a little bit, maybe tap back onto this trend line, or maybe even this level of resistance right here. So yeah, that is ONDS. It has pretty good technicals right now, and yeah, as you can see, it looks like a good stock. Now the DD. I've poured so much time into this, so I hope you guys like it. But I'll just read it out and yeah, maybe kind of improvise a bit. But as the name implies, ONDS is a holding company, which means it's a business that owns other businesses, a company with multiple diverse revenue streams of product offerings that are separate from one another, but they all exist nicely under the same umbrella / niche, which is making drones / defense. Yeah, definitely like a defense company, you could say. The company's largest focus is on ONDS autonomous systems. This segment of their business is the one that focuses on drones and unmanned aircraft. ONDS is making small unmanned aircraft systems called UAS that operate at lower altitudes and speeds. These type of drones are primarily designed for ground combat and providing support for soldiers. And yeah, ONDS also developed a counter quas UAS system, which is implemented by their Iron Drone Raider. And basically what this means is that the counter UAS fights the UAS, or kind of takes them down. ONDS also develops unmanned ground vehicles to help do things like inspecting and defusing bombs, detecting and removing landmines, scouting the path ahead in a conflict zone, carrying supplies or injured soldiers over rough terrain, and a multitude of other scenarios. ONDS has built this catalog through a series of acquisitions from across the globe. ONDS also has great connections in places like Ukraine, Israel, and the U.S., which are all countries that have recently started to build out a massive upscale to their drone system. As you know, Ukraine is currently in a war with Russia, and a lot of their fighting has been using drones, especially the UAS drones that are designed for ground combat and providing support to soldiers. You may have seen some videos on TikTok or YouTube or whatever of drones literally fighting people. And Israel, of course, they're also in a war right now. Regardless what you think of the war, I mean, it is a good source of revenue. Kind of sounds terrible, but yeah. And the U.S., which, although it's not in a war right now, they just invaded Venezuela, and guess what they used? Drones. So drones are literally used in basically everywhere. And yeah, all of the countries that have started to build out a massive upscale to their drone systems, their board of directors and C-suite, like CEO, CFO, have some of the most experience in the industry and help to make sure the company is acquiring the best of the best. One of the company's brightest acquisitions is a company called Centrix, which is a soft kill quas or CUAS platform that forces unauthorized drones to land by leveraging cyber over RF technology, which basically means one drone forces the other drone to like activate like its kill switch basically. And this technology is state of the art and technology that other drone companies do not have. This is especially important because of the fact that Quas technology is in very high demand all over the world. Governments and large organizations are realizing just how exposed their critical infrastructure is to hostile actions. For example, as I said, you may have heard Donald Trump talking about how he wants to build out a golden dome across the U.S. similar to Israel's, I think it's called the Iron Dome, to help defend against any airborne threats. Also in Europe, we are seeing numerous flight cancellations from small unidentified drones flying over airports into unauthorized airspace. Quad solutions are a burning need that these customers are desperate to get their hands on, and ONDS is there to answer that demand. They stated at their Q3 2025 earnings call that they're in advanced talks with seven other companies, now only 6 after their acquisition of RoboTeam, which is like a ground type of like robotics company, with each adding tens of millions of annual revenue to their balance sheet if when acquired. There are also more than 20 in various stages of their merger and acquisition pipeline with a combined 500 million annual revenue potential in 2026. This is also while ONDS revenue projections for 2026 is only set to around 110 million, which I think can be easily exceeded. ONDS is a very different company than it was a year ago. They started off as like a railroad company, and now they've completely gone into defense and drones, and their rapid acquisition strategy paired with a suite of products in a market that is suddenly flush with demand for them creates a perfect opportunity for ONDS to repeatedly outpace the revenue guide each quarter. Analysts from Oppenheimer and Stifel have both put out reports that outline a path for ONDS to do $1 billion in revenue by 2030. So that is 10x their revenue in 4 years. Putting a 30x multiple on that gets you to about $75 per share, roughly 7x today's share price. Overall, I think the drone market, or while some think the drone market is small or not particularly valuable, I strongly disagree. Drones have been started to use in wars all the time. Autonomous drones for commercial and military applications are safer and cheaper than using humans, and the counter UAS space essentially spans every single industry. And although all of what I listed above is great, there are some headwinds for the company. Main one, that they're not profitable. They burn a ton of cash. They posted a net loss of 7.5 million. While they have a massive cash pile due to capital raises, the market will eventually demand a path to positive cash flow. If the burn rate doesn't stabilize, sentiment could definitely shift quickly, and heavy equity raises in 2025 significantly increased share count, and future capital needs for mergers and acquisitions could erode per share value if the company decides to dilute their current share count, which many other of these like similar companies have done. So but overall, ONDS is a great company. I think that while it has a little bit of headwinds right now, I think that this company would be a great long-term hold. As you can see, analysts project that they could do $1 billion in revenue by 2030, 7xing today's share price. So overall, I think that this is a great company to invest in, but obviously do your own research, do your own everything. And the stock is pretty hot right now, so maybe wait for it to cool off a bit. I recently sold a call that I had because I thought that the stock was pretty overextended. So I would maybe wait for it to cool off a bit. But this company is great and one of my favorite for 2026. Thanks, guys.